What's going on, everybody? I'm a recovering addict. My name is Brian, aka Wawa Brian. If you know, you know, right? Yo, before I get into this, I would just like to give a thanks to the people who have liked the videos, commented on the videos, the people who've been watching. You know, I only started this channel a couple weeks ago. You know, the channel's got over 1,000 views, which that doesn't seem like a lot, but for me it is a couple weeks. I'm at 100 subscribers, you know what I mean? But I like when you hit the likes and the dislikes, or you comment, because this way I know where to go with this, right? I know where I want to go. I'm just trying to get there, you know what I mean? But I would like to thank those people. And for the people who might be watching that haven't subscribed yet, or they haven't commented, like, you know, for me the comments are important, right? Because this channel is about helping each other. It's like, you know, help me, help you, help me, help you, help me, right? Because that's what we do here, right? So if by any chance you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it if during this video, you know, you would look down here somewhere below the video and just, you know, click that little button that says subscribe on it for me if you could, you know what I'm saying? And leave some comments, right? Anyway, let's get into this. So I'm a part of some groups, some support recovery groups online. And a couple of those that I'm part of are al-anon and nar-anon groups, right? Because I just like to go in there and kind of give people the perspective from the addict, right? So if you're not familiar with that, most people know that there's 12-step programs for addicts, drug addicts or alcoholics or gamblers. You know, you got Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous. I mean, there's an anonymous for like everything, bro. Now for me, I think the disease of addiction is all inclusive, right? If you got the disease of addiction, it all counts, right? I think alcohol is a drug. But for this video, because I don't want to offend any alcoholics out there, for this video, I'm going to keep it on, I'll just say, the al-anon and the nar-anon groups that I'm on. Oh yeah, let me tell you what that is first. Hold on. So let's say you're an alcoholic and you're going to Alcoholics Anonymous. Well, what do you do for the family and friends who have been dealing with his ass or her ass, right? Well, they have 12-step programs for those people. Al-Anon is for family and friends who have an alcoholic in their life. Then you have Narcotics Anonymous, which is nar-anon, is a support group for their friends and family. And it's the same thing. It's like a 12-step program. Like, in other words, our first step in Narcotics Anonymous is, by the way, real quick, let me just put this disclaimer out there. Nothing said on this channel has anything to do whatsoever and is not the views of any 12-step program, all right? This is my view, it's my anonymity, and I'm breaking it, right? But anyway, like I was saying, so the first step of Narcotics Anonymous, for example, is we admitted we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable, right? And in nar-anon, I believe their first step is we admitted we were powerless over the addict and that our lives had become unmanageable, right? You kind of get what's going on there? So anyway, I'm viewing these groups today. And dude, I'm just looking at the stories on here. Like these tragic ass stories, man. I mean, it's like, here's a picture of my son and his daughter 4 days before we found him dead on the floor, overdosed. You know, here's a picture of my daughter a month before she was intoxicated and crashed into a wall and died. You know, things of that nature, man. And it's terrible, right? It really is terrible. And I just got to thinking, how bad as addicts we have treated people in our lives. How devastating we were to these people who loved us. Our mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, kids, I mean, our own kids, you know what I mean? Things like that. And I thought, man, we not only destroy ourselves, we destroy a lot of people around us. This is, you know. So I thought, I'm listening to these stories. I'm reading these stories of these parents, and there's stories in there too that they're dealing with the active addict right now, and it's ripping them apart. Like, they just don't know what to do. It's crazy. So I thought to myself, let me make a video for people. And by the way, I know some addicts who are in recovery that are dealing with active addicts. So this is for anybody who's dealing with a person in active addiction, whatever that addiction may be. Today we'll focus on drugs and alcohol. We'll make it easier, right? Because, by the way, if there's anything your boy knows about, it's drugs and alcohol. I mean, I have gotten down, bro. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, if they was giving out PhDs, dude, for drug use and drug addiction, I'd have me one of those. Straight up. I would have graduated 10 times over. But anyway, so it got me to thinking, let's do a video on what it's like to love an active addict. So I made up this ghetto ass, I got me a little picture off of the internet, and then I wrote some words on it, you know what I'm saying, and put it up on the TV, because we ghetto around here, at least for now we are. But anyway, loving an addict in active addiction. That's almost like loving the devil. The devil existed, it's almost like loving the devil. And for those who are dealing with that, you know what I'm saying. So I made 3 points here that 3 topics I wanted to get on, and we'll get right in. So the first one is how the addict thinks, their state of mind. So how is the active addict thinking? What is their state of mind? Well, let me give you an example. I want you to picture your boy, right? Army crawling across his mother's bedroom floor at 2 in the morning to take her last $20 out of her purse. Because you want to know what? I got a habit, and I got to have it. Took her keys and the 20, her last 20, stole her car, and took my ass down the way so I can get 2 bags of dope, just so I can feel normal. I wasn't even getting high anymore at that point. That was just so I could feel normal, right? And wasn't worried about any of the consequences. We don't give a shit. Let me just say this to those people out there dealing with people that are on active addiction, that are in active addiction. We don't give a shit about you or anything else for that matter. All that matters is how we getting the money, where am I going to get it, and how am I going to feel once I do it. That's it. The whole existence for an addict in active addiction contains 3 things: manipulation, denial, and just pure self-centeredness, bro. We're just self-centered. We're always coming from a self-centered place. That's it, right? That's what we do. And how my mind goes when I'm in active addiction is like this. I've had family members, my kids, girlfriend, whatever it is. You can have your mom, your pop, you can have your grandma dying on her deathbed, praying and begging you to stop using, right? But the thing is, you don't care, bro. You're not feeling love coming off of them because you don't love yourself, right? Think about it. There is no way somebody who loves themselves could actually keep doing these things and putting these poisons in their body and just keep living this kind of crazy, funky lifestyle. Nobody in their right mind would do that, right? And you definitely don't love yourself. So how the hell can I love you, right? That's the point. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I just want to say this. There's going to be some people who are going to watch some of the things that are watching right now, some of the things I'm saying. They're probably not going to agree with me. Or you're going to have some people who are going to be highly upset with me Because if I was an active addict watching this, I wouldn't want to be watching this with my enablers. You know what I mean? I mean parents. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. That's our state of mind. Let me get it. Get that money. Let me get it. How high can I get? And it doesn't matter who says what, why this is, how that is. It doesn't matter what I do. The consequences do not matter. I just got to have it. That's it. All right. So this leads me to my second point. How the loved one thinks. Their state of mind. Now, here's the state of mind of the loved ones. I've been on both sides of the fence. But here's their state of mind. This is how they think. You got to imagine. Let's keep it on the parents for right now. But this could be anything. It could be a husband and wife, whatever. But we'll just keep it on the parents right now. And I need you to think about this. So you got the parents, right? And they have this beautiful baby, right? And then they watch it grow up. You know, maybe it's, you know, when it's young, the kid's doing t-ball, he's going to soccer games. Oh, look how beautiful, or look how handsome he is, right? And then he grows up. Maybe as a teenager, maybe he goes to wrestling in school. Maybe he's a football player, whatever it is, right? You watch your kid grow up, and they're perfect in your eyes, right? Then one day, you realize something's off with these kids. Something's wrong with the kid, right? Like listen, my grandmother's ring's missing and he ain't acting right or she ain't acting right, right? But, so yeah, so you finally get to a place where you're dead smack in, there's no more secrets. You guys know what's going down. Your kid, you probably had this kind of conversation with them, like, you know what I mean? You got to stop what you're doing. And they're saying to you, oh, I got to stop what I'm doing. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? And you're crying and screaming multiple times, right? And then you even get to the point where you'll do things like addict proof the house, meaning you'll say to your husband or your wife or something like, hey, we got to take all the expensive shit out of this house because he just keeps stealing, right? And then one day you come home thinking you have all the expensive shit out, and then you go to put in like a frozen dinner in the microwave. You're like, damn, this motherfucker stole the microwave. Don't ask me how I know that. Anyway. Your state of mind is, I have to love him until he's better. If I love him hard enough, if I put all my strength into it, I'll love him to be better. I'll fix him with my love. That's what you believe. I mean, and it's logical in a way, right? But what you got to understand is, you're dealing with an illogical person. There's nothing sane about that person anymore. That person you knew is no longer. It's just the way it is, right? Their mind is not working. It's not functioning like a normal brain. Whatever normal is, you know what I'm saying. It just isn't functioning like that. Their brain been hit up with so much dopamine, it's changed. Their actual brain has changed. Everything's messed up on them. Their decision making's gone. Their probability meter's all fucked up. They're not sane. They're living in a state of insanity. So that's what you're dealing with. You're coming from a rational point. They're living in a bunch of irrational shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens. That's the main thing. We got to love them up, right? We got to love them up. So that's how the enabler thinks, right? Because that's what happens. Sooner or later, you cross the line from loving them up to enabling them, right? So this brings me to my third and last point. The best course of action, letting go. Now, here's the part of the video that if you happen to be watching this with your addict who's in the active addiction, they're probably going to try to do some shit like, I don't know, break your phone right now or just kick the TV around because they don't want you to see this shit, what I'm about to say. And I just want to point this out real quick. This is my opinion. This is my view. I urge you to do as you wish in your life, right? But here goes what I think. For me, and a whole lot of people that I have come in contact with in meetings through the course of me being clean, right? What was needed for them to even get to the point where they were ready to stop using was a whole bunch of desperation. In our program, we call it the gift of desperation because it is a gift, right? And what I mean by that is, for most of us, for most addicts in active addiction, we need desperation. We need that desperation. We need to have that feeling of every bridge has been burned. All my friends are gone and they don't want nothing to do with me, right? Mom and dad don't want to talk to me. Or, you know, I can't even go in the house anymore to get a sandwich. They won't even let me take a shower, right? That's the kind of desperation we need. That's just to get us in the treatment or something, just to us to put the drug down. We're not even going to talk about the work needed once you put the drug down and get into some kind of 12-step program or whatever it is you want to do, right? But we're talking about just getting them to put the drug down, right? Because that is the thing to an addict that seems impossible. And there's a lot of fear in that, putting it down, right? But so my point to that is this. I know everything in you tells you that if you were to put them out of the house or let them go, that you wouldn't be showing them no love, right? You feel like you're abandoning them. But on the contrary, it's quite the opposite, right? By you absolutely putting your foot down, this will no longer happen here. You need to go find your way until you get better. By you doing that is actually showing him the love. I know it sounds crazy, but that is the best way that you can love them. You want to see them get better? You got to shut them down. Absolutely cut them off, right? And the number one thing I hear from people when I say that to a parent that's having a kid struggling, or a wife that has a husband struggling, or a husband that has a wife struggling, whatever it is, the number one thing I hear is, what if I let them go and they die, right? I'll have that on my head. I want you to know something from somebody who was so deep in active addiction. Like I said, go watch them Kensington videos. I was one of those dudes. Let me reenact that for you. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those dudes. So from somebody like that, who is now gone through the 12 steps of a 12-step program, which is Narcotics Anonymous, that's mine, right? Who has learned some shit about myself, who has learned some shit about the disease he has, right? I need to tell you this. It doesn't matter if I die. It wasn't your fault. This had nothing to do with you. I either was born with a disease of the brain that made me want to destroy myself, or I acquired it somewhere along the line of living my life, right? But what you need to know is this. From the active addict, I do love you, but I don't love myself because I'm actively using. And none of this was your fault. You don't need to have any of this on your shoulders. If I was to die, it's because the disease that I have got me, right? See, I'm not responsible for my disease, but I'm responsible for my recovery, all right? So I just want you to know that this is not your fault. Even if something like that was to happen, yes, it would be devastating. And that's not what we want out of this. But if it was to happen, you need to understand you did the best you could. And you did the right thing by letting them go. Because you needed them to feel that desperation, right? So anyway, that's going to do it for this video, right? And if there's people out there like that, if you're dealing with an addict, alcoholic, gambler, and they're destroying shit around the crib and everything, you just can't deal no more, I suggest you make your way to a 12-step program that would deal with that. Like I said, al-anon for alcoholics, nar-anon for addicts, drug addicts. You got gamma-anon for gamblers. I mean, there's a cocaine anonymous. I'm sure they have some kind of anon for that too. But I urge you to get to that so you can learn what's going on and what you've been doing, right? But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button. It's down here somewhere. Hit the subscribe button. And if you're feeling really freaky, you could hit that notification bell for me. And that'll just let you know when I release a video. And, you know, if I do. I will, though. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. And listen, I need y'all to remember, the disease of addiction is broad and outside of the realm of just using drugs. And all I got to say is keep coming back. More will be revealed. And I'm out of here, man.